Oak Creek Canyon is just gorgeous this time of year. You can actually see some of the yellow foliage starting to begin. We're here at the Encinoso campground, just doing a quick turnaround. Out of all the places in Oak Creek Canyon, this place almost never has anybody here. It's great. And you can swim from here too, just can't camp. Alrighty, busy highway, but nobody on it at the moment here. We're surrounded in all these beautiful Arizona oak trees here. One of my favorite views on the corner here, when it rains harder and when the snow melts, there's a huge waterfall that's pouring down off between the canyon up there. All right. Oak Creek Canyon here is one of America's most beautiful drives, and we were just so lucky to be able to have to actually take this drive anytime we leave town going north here. Surrounded by sycamore trees, oak trees, walnuts, cottonwoods, Chinese tree of heaven, a bunch of these other beautiful deciduous trees only grow in the canyon here, nearby the water, of course. As we're driving north, we're climbing in elevation significantly here, so we're already starting to see our ponderosa pines. But one of the most beautiful views in all of Oak Creek Canyon is coming up here. We call it Slide Rock State Park. But it gets a name Slide Rock just because of the ability for you to slide down the slick rock. The creek has eroded a perfect channel in the sandstone, so you can have a natural water sliding away. Pretty rough though, honestly. If you guys are coming to Sedona, bring like a neoprene shirt. You'll thank me later. All right, already starting to see some of the colors here. Every single layer of the Coconino sandstone is exposed, but Sedona has a special conformity, making it extra red at the bottom, and a special layer that's only found here called the Schnebly Hill sandstone. It's what makes all these lower red rock formations. So here we are at Slide Rock State Park. You can see all the different colors of the Coconino sandstone, from red to orange to tan to white. It's like an old pioneer homestead here, so the property was preserved just from its natural beauty long ago before it ever became a state park. See a bunch of people like down there right now. And that's because Oak Creek Canyon, this entire area here is, and the road itself is one gigantic fault line. So one side of the canyon rose up significantly higher than the other, and that's the right side of the road, or the east side of the canyon right here. Try to see some more. Here's the green tunnel. One of the cool things that Oak Creek Canyon has in terms of its microclimate here is that we kind of have like a simulated early fall season. And so basically, let her out. So the early fall season here is due to the extra cool weather from the canyon, as well as from the extra darkness that this place is receiving due to the tall canyon walls, and then now with the equinox coming through. It's getting a little darker earlier, but it's significantly darker in this portion of the canyon. So you can see down low the same level of orange and yellow trees that were previously up at the top of the mountain. just basically 3 miles behind us here. It's a lot more narrow, a lot cooler at night. You see these beautiful deep red ponderosa pines now compared to the yellow trees. They're kind of like a miniature sequoia in a way. Even though they're 150 feet tall, they are kind of a miniature version. This is West Fork Trail, otherwise known as Call of the Canyon. If you're not here early in the morning, good luck getting a hike here. Parking lot fills up right away, but for good reason. It's like walking through Zion Canyon. I forget the actual name of the trail. I think it's the Narrows, where you walk in the creek for miles. Similar to that, but much shallower water, and you're also not freezing because of the fact that you're not in so much water. It's just perfect to be here, so similar. I love the cross-bedded sandstone up top here. You're starting to see some of that super white Toro Wheat formation there. It looks a lot like the Temple Cap formation you see in the top of Zion. Not the same geology, it is different, but deposited the same. Those beautiful striations in the rock are called cross-bedding, literally displaying itself as its ancient sand dunes as it was in the past. Zion and Arches, nearby Moab, both have petrified sand dune fields. Specifically Arches, there's an actual vista point that points that out. Slow down. She's been annoying as hell for the last 10 miles. She just wants to go on a trip with us, but can't stay in her seat very long. Nice little campground here. Oak Creek Canyon has about 5-6 campgrounds. Alrighty, climbing up. This whole switchback was filled up with about 20 feet of a landslide, like 20 feet thick of a landslide. It all came down off the side of the mountain here after a crazy snowstorm. Today is September 25th, and it's still 95 degrees out. Odd days, but at least if you've had a busy summer, you get that extra few moments to go swimming in the creek. All right, at this point, it's hard to find cactus. Pine trees are the dominant creature. Wolves live in the area, and we have elk everywhere. It's just a beautiful, but quick transition here. You go from high desert in Sedona, Oak Creek Canyon, riparian zone, transition zone, and then you get this high alpine forest here. It's still dry. It's right above the brink of being considered desert. Like 20 minutes. Now we're just about 7,000 feet, 6,800, almost 6,900. Getting a lot greener out, but the old 4Runner here starts to run out of quite a bit of horsepower. Wildfire up ahead. Forest fire. Nothing like an early autumn forest fire. Actually, been a pretty good year for fires. I think this is a prescribed burn anyways. Alright, on the road again. This time, Sunset Crater. Sedona, how you doing? Getting tired back there? Yeah. Networking. Golden Peak here. Got a bunch of gradient towers on top. Alright, we're getting closer. You can see the craters. Sunset craters, that big black one right in the middle. And the colors are changing on the mountain over here. Flagstaff. It's the executor for Sunset Crater. So just how much more lush the vegetation is here. It's late summer, early fall foliage and flowers. That bad fire I mentioned just on the highway back there burned up this whole area, but it allowed the extra regeneration for tons and tons of wildflowers. Alrighty, just around the corner here, we're going to start to see the cinder cone volcano here. Gets the name Sunset Crater because of those beautiful red colors of cinder that came out of the last minute eruption. This eruption was like around the year 1080 AD. So over the last 900 years or so, this area has been able to regrow, and the ash from the cinder cone, as well as just the regenerative other types of volcanic debris and soils over time with erosion, has made this place a little extra lush compared to the other areas. The unique story behind Sunset Crater, it was founded in 1930. One of America's, top 15 first parks and monuments here. And the only reason why was because the community of the Flagstaff locals got together and petitioned to have this turned into a monument. There was a movie filming production that was going to put some incendiaries and dynamite on the top of the crater, blow them up and reenact it. The youngest cinder cone eruptions in North America here. All the rest eruptions are typically from shield volcanoes or stratovolcanoes like Shasta, Mauna Kea in Hawaii, Mount Rainier. These are all stratovolcanoes or shield volcanoes. Now you can see the black ground everywhere around here. Alrighty, coming down the hill, there's this type of plant that I haven't identified yet that I've only noticed has been in like this super plentiful amount after the wildfire a couple summers ago. Last summer, there's actually a lot more flowers than this season here. That would have been a year after the fire. The amazing lava field. This is an inland volcano field. This is not nearby a massive tectonic fault. It's called the San Francisco Volcano fields. And they were erupting for like 500,000 years up until about 900 years ago. Still a big mystery about why there was so much volcanic activity around here. And Sunset Crater up through the trees here. You want to walk on the lava flow? This whole area is called the Bonito Lava Flow, and there's a couple other parts to this whole lava flow. It's like 3 miles long. There are trails where you can hike in it. Sunset Crater is basically made out of just loose cinder. It's like little beads of black rock combined with ash. It's not a solid structure. So this lava blasted right out of the base of the volcano here. A heavy, sticky lava flow. That's a hiking trail over there. Big pile of ash, tephra pile. That walking path is paved. It's pretty simple. People can go wander about. You can see people standing out there. Here's one of the main volcanic vents. When you get close enough, that red color that makes it the Sunset Crater name starts to kind of fade away as you get closer to it. You'll see it on the ground everywhere. Coming up here is one of my favorite views in the park. The tephra ash fields have been shaped by the wind. Volcanic ash, it's called tephra, T-E-P-H-R-A. And it's not like a sand. I say black sand or cinder. Those are different things. When I say the sand, I'm referring to the ash specifically. If you look closely, you can see the actual hills are shaped by the wind. It's got the same folds and shapes to it, just like the cross-bedded sandstone in Oak Creek Canyon. Hey, baby. Go for a little walkie? This camera. And one of the last cinder cones here. You can see that for the most part, minus the other gravel. This could only go so far from the cinder cones before, of course, coming and landing back down again, but the ash traveled for 800 square miles out in the distance. What you up to? What you up to? They're sculptural in themselves.
vibrant, beautiful plant. So far, I can only been able to identify as like a type of snakeweed. Make these very specific looking like hexagonal shapes in their branches whenever they're a little bit more exposed. But I love this color combo here. It's like reddish pink and this neon vibrant yellow. These little leaves here are pretty minty looking. This might be in the sage family. And one of my favorite wildflowers in Arizona, the Apache plume. Beautiful, delicate little thing. "85 degrees, end of September, perfect weather, perfect day." And Klutna, what are you doing, baby? Just hanging out in the shade. Go for a walk? Come on. Let's go.
You know what pine nuts are?
Pine nuts?
Pinion nuts are?
Yeah, they're in the pine cones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you tried? I know. There's
yeah.
some right there. See, that's a pinion tree.
Yeah, there's like a couple of them. You got to go a little bit farther down, and this is the transformation zone from ponderosis to pinion.
Yeah.
If you're looking for pinion nuts, just keep going down the hill.
How about? Is there some down there?
Some, but it dries out so fast.
I know. Yeah. How about Grand Canyon?
Way more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been over there recently?
Oh yeah, I'm there every other day I'm a tour guide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody's there collecting pine cones right now, or pine cones.
Which mileposts?
Well, if you want to go to Grand Canyon, it'd be faster to just keep going down the highway here, get on 89, and then go up the East Gate.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where there's more pinion trees.
Before the East Gate or after the East Gate?
It's gonna be basically like the before the park, after, and for like
the whole area.
Yeah, for basically like.
How about on top of Gray Mountain?
Gray Mountain? Probably, yeah, probably too.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's faster to get there, yeah.
Yeah. I was just wondering. I just thought I'd go this way.
Yeah. I mean, like most of them were burned from the wildfire, but if you go down the hill, there's way more pinion trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, you're welcome.
But they're small here.
They are a little smaller. It's because of the desert down there, you know.
Yeah,
but if you go back down and then go back up, like going to Grand Canyon, like once you get up on top of the plateau, they're everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's thousands. Yeah.
Okay.
Pinion picking season. A lot of the native people around here, not assuming if he's Navajo or not, but a lot of the natives around here love to go and pick up pinion pine cones and get pinion nuts out of them, or pine nuts. A lot more of these beautiful flowers out here. And this is even on the dried stage, but if you try to come out here earlier in the summer here, all of them are not bloomed all at once, at least. So it's kind of a last minute thing. But whenever you do get a chance to come out and catch the end of the year foliage, they're already drying up, but just got to make up for it. That way you can have everything bloomed all at once. But goodness, this burned forest here just looks so beautiful. Really is so important that our forests do rejuvenate. Although this was caused by a person, the fire, and it was obviously from negligence, at least it wasn't done with intent. this. Beautiful. Like little tomatoes almost. Oh, there's something inside here, a little seed pod. I wonder what this is. Maybe I'll vary it. The way that these things look, it's almost as if like they're arteries, super fun little veins. Ooh, they smell good. They smell really minty. Let's go across the road here. This little type of grass over here literally looks like fog or dust. I think it's just a dried out version of the red foliage. Here's a prime example how these trees burn. This looks like a pinyon pine tree, or was, judging by whatever is left of the bark and the way the branches are shaped. And next to it is growing a ponderosa pine. These ponderosa pines have heavily adapted to wildfires, much like sequoias and redwoods. It's part of their life cycle, actually. Even though this tree was severely burned. Remember, this fire was from 2 years ago in spring. You can see that tree behind it didn't make it. Who knows if that was a stump ahead of time or not. I'll see the rest of a trunk. This beautiful ponderosa here is still making pine cones. It's going to thrive from the fire, from the cleansing. First few years it's going to struggle, but it'll keep moving through. These two pinyon pines, all these pinyon pines, they died, they burned up. I don't know how this juniper survived. But yeah, the ponderosa is burned at the trunk, branches, entire left side of the tree from my perspective burned off, and it still was able to form pine cones actually. Beautiful. And it looks like this area is a favorite amongst the little red grasses too. A lot of people that come out here, they don't get to see the beautiful glory of these flowers, because most people are visiting Cinder Hills OHV Park, and that is where a lot of the foliage is destroyed by things being run over.